there, I'm Lisa from Lollipop Box Club. Today I am designing for Paper Maze and I am using, 3 guesses, this lovely Say Cheese 3 collection from Simple Stories. I'm going to remove my ears and my Disney pencil. They just look super cute, but obviously they don't come from Paper Maze or Simple Stories. Whoops, I've just knocked the glue over. I am starting something new today. A while ago I started a creative journal. This book comes from Simple Stories, and rather than doing 12 by 12 pages, sometimes I want to create on a smaller scale. I have got so many big 12 by 12 albums now. I've got stupid amounts, to the point that I've put some really old ones up in the loft. I'm running out of space. So there's certain stories, rather than creating on 12 by 12 pages, I've decided to keep a creative journal and just create on a smaller scale. They take up much less space, and sometimes you only want to create for kind of 15-20 minutes, and that's all I need when I'm creating on this smaller scale. I'll give you a quick flick through, and I'm keeping this just for silly stories, just silly little things that have happened and just conversations, that kind of thing. So that's where I'm at so far. And I've decided to create one now for Disney. We've got a Disney trip coming up. As I show this video, I should actually be out there, but right now we are heading next week, and it's the beginning of August, and I've got this book here from Simple Stories, like I said, from the Say Cheese collection. I will leave all the links below so you can have a look in the Paper Maze store, and this is going to be the base of my book. It's just a really simple book, but it's a really nice way to document some stories. So that's what I'm going to start today. I am going to start off, I've got this photo here. Now, we've actually been counting down this trip since we were 800 and something days. We came back in October. Actually, I think it was the 31st of October, or could be the 1st of November, I can't remember, 2014, and we've been counting down ever since. But it was this day at 755 days to go that we booked the villa where we stay. So that's the official countdown time, and as I film this video, we are at 4 days to go. So that's how exciting it is. So I thought this would be a really fun one to start the whole book off with. Now, I've got some bits and pieces here. I've got a little stamp set, a roller stamp, a couple of rolls of washi. I've already been using this one because I love those polka dots. I've got the 6 by 8 paper pad here, some of the punch tablet pages. They're really quite fun for documenting on. And I've also got the Say Cheese snap pack here, which I really love as well. So that's what I'm using. You can also get the large 12 by 12 sets, the collections with loads of papers, which I've been using for my scrapbooking pages. They also come with stickers. There's also loads of different sticker packs and planner bits and pieces. There is so much in this collection. So again, I'll leave a link below for you to have a look. If Disney's your thing, you will love this paper line. So let's get started. I'm going to open this book up. I did in this book just do a little bit of decoration on the inside cover there. I then almost did like a welcome page before I started on the documenting. So that's what I'm going to do the same today. I really like how that worked out. I've already decided, I was going through, actually I've taken some pages out here. You do get more than one piece of the paper. They are coming out quite easily, I've noticed, which isn't a bad thing because you don't want loads of sticky on the top of your paper. But I've gone through and selected my pages. You do have more than one piece of each one. How many have we got here? 6 by 8, 24 double-sided sheets. So I'm guessing there's probably easily 2 of each. I'm guessing there probably are 2 of each actually, because that would be 48, wouldn't it? Which sounds about right. So I am going to start my page. I was going to do Let's Make Some Magic, but actually I might start that on there. I think that would be a good page to start it, and I would like to include these up there. And I've already seen this. Actually, I'm just looking through this snap pack that I'm going to use on my first document page. It's quite nice to actually go through things sometimes and have a look at what you've got before you start creating, which is what I've done here. I'm going to include that on my first document page. Let's have a look and see what's in here. have already used one of these packs. This is the second pack now that I've got that I'm opening. Some of these are really quite nice. I want to include that at the top. I do quite like that actually. Might use that. Quite a nice quote. And I might include that heart as well. I don't want, oh, I do quite like that one, although I know that there's one in there, I think. Again, I've already used one of these packs. Yeah, there's one of those. So that's the thing, I'm on my second lot of this collection. That's how much I love it and use it. I do like that one. That one's quite like that. But I do think that quote is more relevant for the start of the book, as that's all we do in our family. We just dream about going to Disney. It's one long wait and saving game in our house. We work very hard and save very hard and dream very hard to get these trips. Right, so I think I am there. I am going to, oh, I do quite like that now though. Actually, I might cut that out. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. That's going to go along the bottom. So let's start by cutting this out. I want some of the outline here left. So I'm going to cut this. I'm not sure how much of this will actually fit on that opening page. So if I cut round, I can always trim it off then accordingly to try and make it fit. Okay, that might come in handy. Right, so not all of it will fit. I might actually cut a little bit of that off. Would that look odd? You'd still be able to see what it is. Let's cut some of this down like that. And then I think it's only a teeny weeny bit that I'm cutting. So let's do that and see how that looks. Whoops. I'm not going to go it all the way to the end because obviously we're going to trim some of that off. So this is obviously the first page that we'll see when we open the book. Took a little bit of the book off there. So let's trim that off and do that corner. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Could do with a little bit more tape. I might add some more eventually to that. Okay, so we've got the ears, and we could always clip that in the bottom. Don't know, but I would like to include this with the quote. So I'm going to cut that out of here. Again, just roughly going around. It's really weird as I film this to be thinking this time next weekend we will be staying at Universal. Doesn't quite seem real at the moment. I think when you've been planning a trip, like I say now, for nearly 3 years, to actually, oh, I've got all caught up here, to actually be thinking this time next week, it just doesn't feel real at the moment. But there's lots of excitement in our house and it feels really nice. Let's cut along here. Okay. Now I'm actually going to cut these with my trimmer just to make sure they're really straight. So these are now trimmed. I think I am going to stick that down with some sticky tapes, some foam tape, so that it's not flat on the page. I quite like it when it just is elevated slightly. And we stick that to the top there. And then I've just trimmed these down. I think I might just leave that page as it is. I'm quite happy. So I'm going to go on to the next one. And I think this is a really good intro page. It's obviously too large for my page already, as it is. So I'm just going to mark off where I need to cut. And I'll go and trim that down. That's now a good size. So I can stick it in place, and then all I need to do is round off the corners. Now, something I want to do in this book, which is something, oh, I started in the other, let's centralize that. When I met Geraldine at the PlannerCon, something she had in her planner, in her journal, was the washi tape on the edge of the pages like that. So when you open it, you've got all those beautiful colors, and I absolutely loved that. And it's something I've continued in this book. and I'm going to continue it in this book as well. So actually I'll do it when I finish this one because the washi will cover both sides. I think that's all I'm going to do. I don't think I need too much else, to be honest. You know, sometimes you can just overdo it, so I think that will be it. And let's start over, and we're going to have our first journal page. I've selected these papers. I've got these from the snap pack, and I've got these two from the 6x8, and I'm going to work backwards starting at the front. I really like This Is Our Happy Place, as that's what Orlando is to us, and I'm going to mark that off where I need to trim. I'm going to have this underneath, so I can mark off where I need to trim that, and I'm also going to have a little bit of the blue, I think, as well. So let's mark that off, and I can trim those pieces down. I've got everything trimmed, so I can now stick this in place. And if there's any bits that are slightly overlapping or need the corners need trimming, I can do that afterwards. I'm not going to stick it right to the end, so if I need to slot any other pieces underneath, I can. As you can see here, I've got a little bit of the page showing through, but again, because I'm going to add the washi, that will tidy that up. And then any excess pieces I can just trim off, so we don't want to see the red on that side. Tidy it up, and the corner here trimmed, and that's done. I will now add the washi tape at the very ends, like that, and that just folds neatly over. Oh, don't want the cover in there as well, and because it's just paper tape, it's really easy then to trim, and I'm trimming it with the bend of the corner, and that's that done. So the photo is going to go on there. I do still really like that quote. I might cut it out and leave the yellow border and see how it looks. If I'm not keen on it on the page, it's something that I will use at a later date on another page anyway. Yeah, quite like that. I'm going to stick that down. So I've got the layered up page here now, and I'm going to open the bits and pieces pack, and I've just got a couple of little bits that I want to use to embellish. I love these bits and pieces packs. There's just so much in here. The balloons are quite sweet, quite like that. Just have a little flick through so you can see. Right, that's what I think I'm going to do. Let's stick this down with tape, like that. We'll have the cloud over the top slightly, so it's layered. I quite like the idea. Actually, I might pop that on there. So I'm going to do my journaling there. Right, I was going to just leave it at that, but I've decided I want to continue on to the next page. I thought it would be really fun to continue my journal with a photo taken from our last trip. It will be really nice then when I come back and I've got lots of lovely photos, hopefully, to then be able to compare how everyone looks for this trip almost 3 years later. To be honest, looking at everybody, nobody's really changed except for Louis, who has become a young man. He was 12 there and he's now 15, so he's much taller, sounds very different, and yeah, he really does look quite different actually. So that's a really nice way, I think, to start the book. So I've taken another piece of the 8x6 here, and I'm going to mark off where I'm going to cut and trim that to size, and I'm going to use this piece here from the from the snap pack and use that to frame my photo. So I'm just going to trim that down. Again, I'll use the tape down the side to pop that on there. Now I'm going to need to trim this down slightly so that it fits. I do kind of want to use this one as well. I'm going to pop it in the middle. I've trimmed it off as much as I can do this side. Now I'm going to mark it off and trim it this side. Now I've had to change things around a little bit. I've trimmed off this. The idea is to overlap so it fits, but now the space is actually a little small for my photo, but I still really want to use this card. So I'm now going to move this to the top. This is still going to overlap over. I'm going to line it up, so try and make it look like it's still the same card, despite there obviously being a bit of a line down the middle there. It's not too bad. I've taken this card, I need to trim that down, and my photo is going to sit there. So I need to trim a little bit down to tuck underneath. Just need to move. I just like the heart with love this place. Photo this time. Okay, so we've done that. Now I can add my journaling there, but I also want to add something else. I'm not quite sure what yet. I've got the cloud there, so I don't want another cloud. I'm just going to have a little look through and see what fits. Right, I think I've got it sorted now what I want to do. So I've taken some of the bits and pieces. This is all stuck on now, but we've obviously got that line. Oh, I've just found that little magic there, so I'm going to stick that over to one side like that. Now let's get working on this. I'm going to use these bits here to add to my journaling. I'm going to add that there. I am going to add that across. Sometimes it just takes a little while before you work out where you want to go, where you want to put everything. Let's rub that sticky off, otherwise the page will stick together. We are going to add smile at the top, and that should all just about cover my joins. Ta-da! And now I've got space for my journaling, which I'm going to get on with now, and my page is almost done. I also wanted to add the washi tape down the side. We're going to go with a different colour to what I used before. That's going to go down the edge, and I'm just going to trim that off and fold it over like last time, making sure I've just got one page in there. Yep. Once you start adding bits and pieces to the pages, they start to feel really thick. It feels really nice. So that's over there. Corner off those, and I'm going to just finish the page with my journaling now. That's it. The page is done. Just a little photo and a few details. Wondering how different the kids will be this next trip. So we've got the start of the book. I need to put the date in here somewhere actually. Actually, I can do that on the next page when I start that next journal. So that's it. I am ready now to document all the stories and funny things when we get back. I hope you've enjoyed this book today, and I will leave the links below. These books are so nice, and they're really reasonably priced as well, and it's a really good way and very quick way to document your memories. Thank you very much for joining me today. Any questions, please do ask, and I shall see you soon. Bye.